You are listening to Be Simply. This is Suzanne Toro, aka She. You can anticipate being inspired, discovering some inner and outer wisdom and inspiration. Without further ado, let's dive into Be Simply. Welcome to the segment of Mind, You, and Food, brought to you by Be Simply. This is Suzanne Toro, and I want to thank you for tuning in. Today, we're going to nourish your mind, body, heart, and soul. And today, as we explore a little deeper into summer here in the Northern Hemisphere, we are going to connect to stone fruit. And for all those brothers and sisters that are down under, if you want some segments to support where you're at, please email me at s@suzannetoro.com, and I will be happy to send those your way. So today we're going to dive into first food, the physical food we eat. And as we embark into summer, you'll notice when you walk into your markets that stone fruit is available. And stone fruit is nothing more than a fruit that has stones inside of it, meaning cherries, apricots, peaches, nectarines, all those yummy fruits that have that hard center. All aspects of all vegetables are beneficial to use. And so I really encourage you all that are listening to get in the habit to see what you can do with these extra components of your food. We regenerate, food regenerates, so you can sprout it up, grow a tree, you can grind it up and make a lot of different things from that with the stones. And then the other component is that we have usually a big bounty of fruit. And if you live out in the middle of nowhere with several fruit trees, you know that you can't consume it all. So that's when we start preserving the fruit into jams, compotes. We can make them into oils or other medicinal uses for other months during the year. So the beautiful thing about these wonderful fruit that is available to us this time of year is the stone fruit in particular is there to, one, boost our immunity as we go into summer, rebuild collagen, which is always a hot topic for many men and women alike. It'll support your nerve and muscle health. In addition, it helps balance your vascular system and your blood sugar. It will help you with your eyesight and help you with digestion, strengthen your bones, your teeth, and improve your sleep, to name a few. Now, years back, my neighbor used to have a plum tree that would hang over partially into my yard. And I had been working out in the back, and the tree kind of started making an offering to me. And I point this out, the more that you commune with nature, the nature will commune with you. They kind of have a really good, fast network of communication, and they don't need any internet. So they can recognize when someone has a relationship with them. But the tree actually shook and dropped some plums, one on my head. And I was like, hey, nature's telling me something. So I gathered up the plums that the tree offered me, and I made a compote. And this was probably, 10 or 11 years ago. And I was like, I'm very curious about what these plums do. Obviously, the tree feels I need them. And sure enough, they hydrate, they replenish. And at that time, I was going through a deep physical rebalancing, and it was the perfect antidote for me. So if you pay attention to nature, you'd be surprised at what nature offers you. In addition, if you pay attention to what you need on a daily basis, you don't have to worry so much about the list of benefits that I just suggested that you know about, because you will intuitively know what you need to eat and what you don't need to eat. This is why one size does not fit all. Every human being on this planet is unique and needs different things, and we can't all consume and ingest all the same foods. We can't consume and ingest all the same medicines. So I really encourage you to develop a relationship with Mother Nature. And that means go outside, get out in the the wild, go off grid for a while, sit, be, because this will really help you deepen that relationship and do it nice and clean living. I know it's become very popular to abide in some of nature's other medicines that put you in altered states. However, less is more with that. And then number two, it's kind of like checking out on your own physical relationship. If you're not present in your own body and with what's in and around you, it's not going to show you that much attention. So people that are habitually checking out with substances, they're missing out on this great exchange that they can have with nature. Even though I know I can hear some of you saying, but honestly, it's like being present for a relationship or not. And then, so bringing it back to stone fruit, if you're interested, I really recommend just checking out your local market, see what jumps out to you. The one thing to note is that people that tend to have any type of allergies, different things like skin issues and stuff like that, sometimes the stone fruit, because they have a firmer skin on the outside, that might not resonate with your system. So just test it out. See what works for you, what doesn't. It's kind of like different melons. A lot of times give people allergies. Same with the stone fruit. They have a natural pesticide system built in, especially if you have some liver stagnation or this area of the body needs rebalancing. That's just something to consider. So also rotation of the fruit is helpful, especially if you tend to have allergies. Now, I want to share a fun little recipe that was inspired by my interaction with the plum tree. And this recipe is really easy. You just grab about 4 plums, 1 cucumber. You're going to remove the skin on the cucumber, juice of 1 lime, 1 cup organic raw coconut water or from a fresh coconut, and then about 1/8 of a cup of fresh mint or a handful of fresh mint leaves. And you can also do intuitive cooking. So you put those in a blender and you're going to blend it up. Then add a little bit of honey from your local honey maker. So if you don't have one, get one as close as possible to where you live. This is super important because the bees are pollinating off the local plants and the local flowers, and that will help your allergies and immune system. And so this little compote is super powerful. It will hydrate you. You could have it first thing in the morning, especially during these summer months. You can do this also with some of the other stone fruit. You could do this with any of them, really. I'm thinking that you could do plums and cherries with this. Would be really yummy with the cucumber, the lime, and the coconut, and the mint, and mix it all up. In addition to the other things that I mentioned, in the plum juice in particular, will aid in weight loss, preventing heart attacks, boosting your vision, just like the stone fruit it was mentioned, reducing constipation, get those bowels moving. It'll assist you during pregnancy. It helps your cognition, mind, reduce cholesterol, hydrates, and will reduce certain anti-proliferation. Anti-proliferation would be AKA anti-cancer. And I would say, I don't like to use that C word too much, is that it's really helping reduce the damage of free radicals in your body. Ultimately, there's other things too that you want to balance in the mind, heart, and soul to keep you from any kind of imbalance in your system. But this lovely little plum will help you out along the way. So now we're going to dive into the mind, feeding the mind. So during these summer months, we're invited to go outside. It's bright, long days. I encourage you to carve out a good portion of the day that you can go out and be in nature and have a good time. Currently, we're having a lot of solar activity. We're having influx of electrons. And so when we want to give ourselves mind food right now here on planet Earth, and we are entering into a season with the sun that can cause more and more activity. it's best to unplug from electronics, get outdoors, ground, lay on the earth, so that you can manage the influx of electrons. Also, to be noted that when the sun is showering us with its love, that we are susceptible to imbalances in the heart, mind, body, and even soul. So if you suddenly notice like emotional dysregulation, or if you notice that your heart is going quickly or your mind is racing and it's sudden and out of character for you, I really recommend get outside, lay on the earth, shut down your electricity in the home, shut down your computer, your phones, even have set times for those. It'll really help you out a lot. I was reflecting, when my kids were young, they were only allowed 2 videos max. We didn't ever watch like TV on end. It was set specific shows that they could take in, and that was it. And so, we're at an excess level with this tech. So think about, how to minimize that for you. Then we're going to go into the aspect of the heart. Being that we're in heart season, the stone fruit that I mentioned are super helpful to you. But we want to cultivate love. So we want to do things we love. We want to enjoy things that bring us inspiration, passion, laughter, and cultivate that. We want to feed that during the summer months. Hence, as I mentioned, a lot of people take vacations. It is such a yummy time to feed also your work, your passion, because in North America, we're in action mode. So don't forget to kind of have the balance between work and play. And it's a good way to set the tone for that, work and play. But get out there, enjoy it, and emote it. And so 2 of my favorite love poets are Rumi and Hafiz. I found this quote today: "Love is the bridge between you and everything." That's by Rumi, and I'm sure you've heard of that before, which is true. It brings us into a resonance. When you travel in the UK and they say love after everything, it feels good. You feel good about it when you see that, or someone calls you beautiful. It shifts your entire state of being. So the next component, and this kind of goes mind, heart, and soul, feeding our soul. And so when we listen on a soul level, there's this beautiful opportunity to really cultivate your deep inner work, your dharma. And sometimes you have to understand is that because we are eternal beings, I guess you don't have to understand, but I would like you to understand, since we are eternal beings, that sometimes what's happening is that in this life we had a certain karma that led us to certain pathways to do certain things. And then simultaneously we start feeding energies that are going to help support us in the next. And ultimately, if we're working at a soul level, that heart, that passion, the heart will lead you there very nicely, is that beyond the grasping. But if we go through and really get deep into our soul, we'll start feeding and cultivating some of these inner gifts that may not yield all the outcome until beyond here. And so I encourage you to make sure that you pay attention to that. And that's why even I mentioned the thing about technology. It doesn't really serve you completely. It's a tool, but it doesn't serve you long term the way that really addressing what's wanting to rise up inside. And this is why people will have carryover. And if they have spent each lifetime cultivating specific tools, they don't lose those. They're going to keep accumulating the other things, or they'll refine that even more and carry it over. So during these summer months, this is a time to dive into those things you're passionate about. Take some time for you to see what that is. And then it's also a time to cultivate your faith. If you think about your heart, that is the gateway to faith. All faiths that I've ever interacted with have a similar thread. It's called love and kindness and compassion. And so in the summer months, if you think about cultivating that, that would mean a simple way to access it if you don't have a formal way of accessing your faith is to be of service. So you could switch it all up this summer. Work, be of service, and play, and see what happens. See what goes from there. And in the sentiment of faith, I would like to share this Hafiz. That's a short poem quote, and I think it really for me, reflects how I connect to the divine, aka God. Where is the door to God? In the sound of a barking dog, in the ring of a hammer, in a drop of rain, in the face of everyone I see. Hafiz. And so God is everywhere. The divine is everywhere. In different face, it's represented in different ways. That's your personal, very intimate choice, but it's everywhere if you so to choose to access it. And the more that we're honest with that relationship, like the one I mentioned with nature, the more it'll guide us and balance us. In addition, we'll be nourishing ourselves with the things that keep us in harmony. So as we go into this week, I really encourage you, one, to be present with the switch out of produce and fruits in your market. I encourage you to take a little time for you out in nature. If inspired, make a little plum compote, make some extra. You can store it in your freezer or your fridge. In addition, pay attention to the influx of solar energy, I'll call it, electrons, coronal mass ejections, all of those. It's really rocking right now when I'm recording this. And then see if you can engage in your inner work through prayer, meditation, repose, and if you can engage this great expression that we all have the capacity to share. That's love, joy, laughter, peace. Until next time, we're going to sign out and give a special thanks, one, to Kadri Scott. We're going to sign out with her single, Don't Think, Just Feel. In addition, I want to point out Mason's Mushrooms. This is another great product that I actually use and work hand in hand with this company, Super Feast. They have this mushroom blend that I love, and I encourage you, and this is a time of year to really assist your daily nutrition with this herbal tonic. And also to note with that, herbalism is little bits. It's not like large quantities, so you can switch it up. We'll talk more about that next week. In addition, I want to give a shout out to Carrie Kelly, American Detox author. We had a great interview the week before last and put the link below, so check it out. And then if you would like to balance out as we lead into summer or winter, those links below are for seasonal reboots and cleanses. The additional offerings are down below too, so check it out. There's some resources, and we will do this all again next week. If you're available, come to Sunday's class, Soul, Silence, and Sound. Those links are below too. Until next time, this is Suzanne signing out with a full heart, a soft gaze, a deep bow, and a namaste. Be simply. Once again, I want to thank you for joining us today on Be Simply, Mind You, and Food. We're going to exit out with a little Kadri Scott, Don't Think, Just Feel. Let that be the lead-in to your summer months. Speak, we aim to please, dress our words up to the T and hopes to impress. God forbid they disagree, or maybe they just don't see. Don't let it cause you stress, 'cause you got a little secret for you, and it's one less thing that you gotta do. It's a whole lot more fun if you make me a deal. Yeah, pull aside the thing, baby, just feel. Move to your rhythm, show me what's real, yeah. Try not to think, and baby, just feel. If only for you and never can see.
tell me how you feel. Don't think, just feel. Keep it local, keep it real. Don't tell me what they wanna hear, just tell me how you feel.